Crabfeeder is backed by powerful entities within the Free Cities who wish to see Westeros weakened. And the King's failures have allowed him to accumulate strength.
The Realm. Do you know what the Realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon update video. In this video, I want to go over some interesting information about the Crabfeeder from House of the Dragon. During a recent interview, the actor revealed some interesting information about his character that you wouldn't know from only watching the show. Let me show you what he said when he sat down with Entertainment Weekly for his interview. The headline reads, House of the Dragon actor digs up secrets of Craghas Crabfeeder. Yes, that is Greyscale on his arm, and yes, that is the mask you think it is. Fire and Blood, George R. R. Martin's compendium of Targaryen history that inspired HBO's House of the Dragon, makes little mention of Craghas Crabfeeder, the Myrish Prince Admiral known by his foes as the Crabfeeder. What we know about this figure, as chronicled in the novel's passage titled Heirs of the Dragon, a question of succession doesn't even fill an entire page. So, as with other story elements to House of the Dragon, the makers of the TV series decided to expand the scope of this character. The actor said, he's a nasty character. So as an actor, it's a dream, Scott Smith, who's had smaller roles in Men in Black International and Dune, says over Zoom from the UK. It's nice when you have details as well, but it's also nice when it's a completely open book. That gave us the freedom to do what we wanted with the character, which, on a creative level, was incredible for me, and I think for the directors as well, because we could play around with it and build our own version of Crabfeeder. Fire and Blood tells us that Craghas commanded the armies and fleet of the Triarchy, which was the alliance of 3 of the free cities across the Narrow Sea, Lys, Myr, and Tyrosh. It was under his watch that these forces laid claim to the Stepstones, an important trade route between Westeros and Essos. But he became greedy and demanded high tolls from ships in exchange for safe passage. Sometimes, those tolls included human trafficking. Craghas was nicknamed Crabfeeder for his unique way of doing away with pirates, staking them in the sand on the beach of the Stepstones and letting the crabs eat away at them until the tides came in. Actor Scott Smith confirmed some of the newer aspects to Craghas as seen in House of the Dragon. First, yes, that is Greyscale on his left arm. Craghas Crabfeeder is seen as the bad guy, but for any bad character, there's always going to be a journey of how they got there. After discussions with the director of the second and third episode, they began unpacking the character. So, we discussed the idea of him being a prince, or that he calls himself a prince, so he came from some sort of higher house. We spoke about that, and the gradual decline to where he is now, how the Greyscale might affect him physically and even mentally.
I've seen Greyscale before. Nothing like that.
I suppose that's why they send them there.
It would be kinder to put daggers in their hearts and be done with it.
The hair, makeup, and the prosthetics team added further details to the skin around the Greyscale to make it look even more raw. We wanted to show the more Prince Royal side, but then we also wanted to show the more feral side, which came through when he holds the hammer.
The Crabfeeder is backed by powerful entities within the Free Cities who wish to see Westeros weakened. And the King's failures have allowed him to accumulate strength.
We wanted the idea of the hammer turning him into more of a beastly character. The mask was also another big part of the character. Scott Smith confirms it's the same kind of mask worn by the Sons of the Harpy and Meereen in Game of Thrones. That was another aspect he discussed with the director after landing the role. He recognized it from watching the original show. It was definitely a nod to that for, I guess, the fans, because it's something familiar for them. And we discussed the idea of him being the first one to wear the mask, and it becoming iconic, and therefore, it built from that.
I was busy learning who funds the Sons of the Harpy, some things you can't rush.
You found out?
The good masters of Astapor and the wise masters of Yunkai, with help from their friends in Volantis.
Why is he wearing the mask? How does he feel about it? It's a statement, so he's quite happy about wearing it. As you all know, Craghas is first glimpsed in episode 2, and then the final battle in the War for the Stepstones sees his demise at the hands of Daemon Targaryen. Another interesting thing is the Crabfeeder doesn't speak, nor does he remove his mask. But for those watchers who look for details, elements like the mask and Greyscale were meant to evoke visual connections to the original show. When filming first began on House of the Dragon, Scott Smith would arrive 7 hours before the cameras actually rolled. That way they could apply all the necessary makeup and costuming, including a partial wig to evoke the decaying character's last remaining wisp of hair, and separate effects for a graying eye. The final shot we see of the Crabfeeder is not of Scott Smith, but that mold made for him at the beginning of the season. Daemon drags his adversary's remains out from the cave, and onto the beach where the forces of Lord Corlys Velaryon are clashing with the Triarchy. Fire and Blood does show illustrations of Daemon decapitating Craghas' head, but it seems that too was changed for the show. Actor Scott Smith said it was a weird experience to gaze upon his own dead body, even if it was fake. I don't think many fans would experience that normally, but it was surreal, he says. So as you can see, he did reveal some interesting information about the Crabfeeder. Some of these things you never would have known if you were only a watcher of the show. So I thought I would make this video and let all of you know what he had to say. I thought this was interesting myself. Let me know what all of you think about this down below. As always, I want to thank all of you for watching the video. I hope all of you have a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.
The Dance of Dragons, a true telling by Grandmaster Munkin, being a history of the war of Targaryen succession between the Princess Rhaenyra and Aegon, second of his name, that nearly destroyed the realm.
The Dance of the Dragons. A stupid name for a Targaryen civil war where my ancestors danced away my birthright. Before the war, House Targaryen counted 18 dragons. By the end, we had 2, and nearly as few Targaryens. We would never be as powerful or as feared again.